God and baby Jesus help us. For MovieWeb, Wonder Woman 1984 certified fresh score turns rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no. Weeks after its initial release, Wonder Woman 1984 has dropped significantly on Rotten Tomatoes. This is terrible news. Critics have continued to weigh in on Wonder Woman 1984, and they found it wanting. The sequel originally hit theaters on HBO Max on Christmas Day, and in its time since, the score on Rotten Tomatoes has continually dropped. Now, DC Comics adaptation has officially been downgraded to rotten on the review aggregator. Those aggregate scores are a bitch. This is undoubtedly not what Warner Brothers had in mind. As of this writing, Wonder Woman 1984 carries a 59% critical aggregate score. That's its approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That puts it just below the rotten threshold. Audiences have been a bit more kind, with the audience rating currently sitting at 74%, but be that as it may, critics remain sharply divided on Gal Gadot's return as the iconic and classic superhero. As much of the positive response was front-loaded, as the score has been dropping ever since its debut. You mean they fixed it? You mean they got the shills in there first to give their super glowing positive reviews in order to trick people who used the above board, completely blameless Rotten Tomatoes site into seeing a crappy movie? Boy, I don't know. I feel betrayed from every angle. The critical consensus on the site reads as follows. Well, let's see what it says.
Wonder Woman 1984 struggles with sequel overload, but still offers enough vibrant escapism to satisfy fans of the franchise and its classic central character.
I don't know if I buy any of that. This is in stark contrast to the original Wonder Woman. Oh, that movie made a lot of money. Everybody liked that movie. This is in stark contrast to that. If it's in stark contrast, that means that it's nothing like that. It's nothing like the beloved original. This is terrible news. It sits at a stellar 93% critical approval rating. Well, what is this one at again? Just double check that. 59%. I don't know how I'm going to cope with any of this. This is terrible news. It's terrible. This movie has similarly divided critics like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad also divided critics from people who hated it and people with head injuries. This is awful, awful news. Wonder Woman, it's well worth noting, was an enormous financial success. It made $821 million worldwide. You would think that the sequel would probably edge it up near $1 billion. But evidently not. It's barely managed to cross the $100 million mark, having spent $200 million to make the movie. If I spent $2 to make an apple and was only able to sell it for $1, I think I'd be in big trouble with my mom. This is terrible. It gets worse and worse. Wonder Woman 1984 takes the action to the 80s. It sees the hero contending with not one but two villains. Pedro Pascal plays Donald Trump, and Kristen Wiig plays a hapless, nerdy woman who just wants to be Wonder Woman until Wonder Woman chokes her underwater, almost drowns her, and electrocutes her, and says, "Stop trying to be me. Stop trying to be me." Chris Pine also returns as Steve Trevor, and he is raped by Wonder Woman. This is, despite the reception, Warner Brothers is eager to get Diana Prince back in the saddle again. The studio is lying and says it already locked down Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman 3. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to happen at this point. Call me a cynic. Thanks for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe, and always leave me a comment below.
New from All Caps Comics, Rainbow, the Brute, the last real man in fairyland. A tale of prismatic pain, a spectrum of brutality, and a pretty good dad. Choke slam a unicorn by backing it today, only on Indiegogo. New from All Caps Comics, Snowman, A Cold Day in Hell. The victim of a genocidal massacre has somehow returned from the dead and is carving a path of death across the heart of America. Driven by the echoes of silent screams, this is the story of a man once known as Black Dog, the one now forever known as the Snowman. Snowman, A Cold Day in Hell, back it today, only on Indiegogo.